You know, if you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent.
Good evening, Star Wars people. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Decent Show. Reagan and Ryan as always, and today we'll be reviewing Season 2 of Mandalorian, maybe touching on Mandalorian as a whole, but we just finished Season 2, so we're going to give our thoughts and opinions on that. The season finale dropped yesterday. A lot of hot stuff to get into. Reagan, what's happening?
Nothing. Way to mix up the intro there, by the way.
Oh, nice. Man. I was trying to think of like a phrase. Like, what is a group of people in Star Wars called? I guess I should have said the Sand People, or the Jawas, okay. Or I couldn't think of anything. I was trying to think of like
what's going on, Sand People.
Yeah, what's going on? Like a race of people in Star Wars. But I was just like Star Wars people because I could not think of a group for some reason. Anyway,
you were inclusive though.
I like being inclusive. I'm a little disappointed to find out that Baby Yoda's a boy. I definitely assumed gender neutral, maybe poly. I was very shocked by that. I was one of the 300 that found it interesting.
Oh, really?
But I found it interesting in a negative way, of course.
But still interesting.
Yes.
So,
where do you want to start with Season 2?
I don't know.
A lot of thoughts.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out where everyone to stop. Did you feel like it was a lot of filler?
So we kind of talked about that off air. I would say that. So if you talk to Victor, I mean, apparently every episode was filler, but I would say that
what a concept for a show. Episodes
2 through 4, honestly, I might be off an episode somewhere in there. I'm not 100% sure, but
with the egg people or whatever.
Yeah, like the frog lady and the egg stuff, and the snow planet with the spiders. And maybe even the episode after that, which might be episode 4, to me, felt kind of like filler. Again, it was still somewhat exciting because Baby Yoda's being cute and Mando's obviously still killing people or things. So it's not like I was bored, but it did feel like, okay, where's the story going? And then finally it picked up whenever they start making progress in terms of getting to a planet with an actual Jedi. And then whenever Kara, the big girl that's, the head ranger or whatever she is, the marshal.
The spinoff.
Yeah.
Spinoff lady.
When she got a little bit more involved and like the other Mandalorians were getting more involved, like once all that started happening, once we got Bo-Katan and her crew, I think that's when it really picked up and it didn't feel like as much filler to me. And what is her name, the Jedi that I can't ever say? Ahsoka. Anyway, yeah. Like going to the planet with Ahsoka, I thought all of that was great. I was really happy that they finally kind of got away with the usual trope of like...
Go to a planet, I need someone's help. Alright, I won't help you unless you do this thing.
And he like fist fights and shoots everybody. Now granted, most of that action is fun. But it was nice to have some typical Star Wars action with like more stormtroopers, a little bit more sword fighting, lightsabers, that kind of stuff. It was nice to have all that.
Yeah, I agree as well. I feel that way. I feel like definitely the second half of the season really picked up.
Yes, a
lot of the faults of the whole first season, in my opinion, where it was just him carrying around the child. Okay, where is this going? This is really kind of slow. I feel like on a general note, I'm like way less hype about it as everyone else is. People talk about it like, oh dude, it's such a good idea, it's so amazing. And it is a good show.
It is. And if I didn't love Star Wars,
exactly,
I don't think that I would be that diehard on this show. And it seems like this show is reaching a lot of people that aren't diehard Star Wars fans.
Right. Which is weird.
Right. And I honestly think that it's single-handedly because of Baby Yoda.
Right.
And I think Baby Yoda's drawing in these non-Star Wars fans, and it's still pretty good Star Wars content, so they're like, oh, this is good. And it's like, well, yeah, if you watch any of the other 9 movies, you'd probably say the same thing, but they don't have Baby Yoda in it, so you didn't watch them. Because you're like, oh, it's sci-fi, it's nerdy, but now Baby Yoda's cute. So
you're tired of the Baby Yoda, basically. You're tired of how much of a mainstream thing he's become.
That's the thing. I don't hate the character. I like when he's on screen. Yeah, Grogu. I like Grogu. I like when he's doing stuff. He doesn't do stuff that often, but whenever he's doing something, I enjoy it. To me, he doesn't take away or ruin the show in any way. It's just it's the people. It's their fan. It's the fan reaction, and the fact that he's selling this much merchandise for people who don't even care about Star Wars until now. So it's like,
I kind of think it's also, I think it helps people who don't like Star Wars watch the show because it's so much easier to understand.
yeah,
Right off the bat, it's so much smaller. Like it's just
there's no Darth Vader.
it's one guy. He's like an outlaw, but he shoots a laser gun instead, and he's literally just taking this kid to go be with its people.
Right.
It's such a smaller thing, easier thing to grasp, I guess. And
Yes.
people don't tune out immediately.
Yes, and yeah, I don't know. People in their Star Wars, I don't get it. Because like that's the thing too, is the vibe I get from people that watch this show that haven't seen the other Star Wars movies. It doesn't sound like they have any interest in going back and watching any of the other Star Wars stuff. Like they just want to watch this show.
And that bugs you.
A little bit.
Yeah, because
Little
it's
bit.
better.
See, that's the thing. I mean, would you make the argument that this show is better than some of the movies and the main? Let's say there's 11 movies. Is this show better than how many of those movies? I like this show better than Solo. I like this show better than Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
I like this show better than A New Hope, and that's only because A New Hope didn't age well.
So I don't agree with it on that one, but
you get where I'm coming from.
I definitely get where you're coming
Right.
from.
Only because it's so old. I know that movie's iconic. It got everything started, all that good stuff. I have mad respect for it. It's just, it's hard to watch.
Right.
Compared to all the stuff we watch now. It just did not age that well.
And probably Phantom Menace.
Maybe Phantom Menace. To me, Phantom Menace is where it's cutting it close just because I like Darth Maul and Liam Neeson that much in that movie.
I would say that, episode 1, episode 2, and Solo,
Yes.
I like better than, or I like this show better than them.
And
then
I like
the
this
rest,
show
I
better
like
than
them
episode 8.
Oh, that's
But,
right.
but barely.
Fuel.
But barely. Because episode 8, I love the stuff with Kylo and them killing Snoke and
Snoke.
Whatever. Dude, I'll never say his name or Ahsoka or any of those people. I'll never get their names right. I feel like every time, whichever way I say it, you're always like, nah, it's this way. Like, sometimes I think you could be messing with me.
Dude,
I could be.
I'm not, though. I'm really not.
Okay.
It would be funny if I was. Though.
Yeah, you're just like always saying the opposite of what I say, and I'm like, I'm never going to get this right. But anyway, so it's close on that one too. But what I'm saying is like 5, 6, 3, Rogue One, 7 and 9, and possibly 8, and possibly 1, like are all better than this show. But like people don't want to watch it.
No.
But anyway, let's get back to the show. Before I forget, hot take. I don't like Bill Burr in season 1 or season 2.
I don't like Bill Burr in the show at all.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like him in the show at all. And I love Bill Burr.
I find it distracting as hell, and I don't love Bill Burr.
Yeah. I love his comedy. I love his animated show, F is for Family, streaming on Netflix. Sick plug. Anyway, but...
This show is brought to you by Nothing.
Netflix. It's not Disney. But I love almost everything he does except for this. I don't like him in the show. To me, he's not a strong actor. He's weird. I'm very aware I'm watching Bill Burr.
Why him of everyone? Why
don't
not just
know.
a random actor?
Just get somebody. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's a diehard Star Wars fan and friends with like somebody on set, like Jon Favreau or something. I don't know.
He must have an in because it's such a weird thing.
He is the most off-cast person.
And it's not even... Cause
he's more weird than Carl Weathers.
Yeah,
you
honestly,
know?
because Carl Weathers isn't really in the... You can't really cast somebody in Star Wars who's in the mainstream super heavily. And Carl Weathers is like completely not in the mainstream at all right now.
Right, but when I see him, he looks really out of place. But to me, Bill Burr is more out of place.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just a weird addition to the show for whatever reason, and I don't feel like. And it's another weird thing is that Daniel Craig was in episode 7, but he was in a stormtrooper outfit. Like he just loved Star Wars and he just wanted to be a cameo.
Really?
Yeah, he has a line of dialogue. He says something to Rey whenever she's in captivity, and like she's like,
what?
"You will
Which one
release
is
me."
this? Oh,
Episode
Force
7.
Awakens.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant episode 7 of the show. I was like, what?
No. In Star Wars episode 7,
he says
whatever.
something.
He says like, quiet prisoner or something like that. And but he has a mask on. It's like you wouldn't know unless you look that up. And you could even just put like makeup on somebody or put an outfit around him, but like it's just his bald, like, you know, regular looking Bill Burr.
Yeah.
His clothes don't even look that different from like a normal person. It's just very weird.
Yeah. Don't like it.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that either. Although I do
the episode's good.
The episode's good and the character arc isn't bad. It's
right.
just the actor they picked to play him. Not a huge fan of Star Wars. I'm not like I don't hate him or anything. I think his comedy's funny, but I'm not like a fan, I would say.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. But yeah, I did like his spoilers. I did like his like arc where he basically shot the captain and like got revenge, I guess.
Yeah.
And blew up that whole facility.
Yes. That was all good.
Which was kind of filler, but was fun.
Yeah. The other thing I will say too is I don't like. To me, this show has a few CinemaSin moments. I'll probably forget most of them, but like I feel like when I'm watching it, I'm like, they have like that plain as day dialogue. They have like some of those cliches. Like you showed me the video where they're like, someone's taking the child. Like basically, he talks to multiple people throughout the show where he's like, I need this, or something like, I want this, I need this, and they're like, nah. I don't want to do it. And he goes, something about the child. And they go, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, sure. Like the Mandalorians,
yeah.
the two women.
Yeah. Like that's the prime example that we most recently saw. But that happens in, I feel like, multiple episodes where someone's like refusing to help him or doesn't want to do him a favor. And then he goes, but the child. And they go, okay.
Yeah, fine, for the child.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely that way. To me, the biggest CinemaSin moment for the whole show is
Stormtroopers?
Yeah, well, I guess it's not a moment. It's just a recurring theme of like, yeah, Star Wars always has this thing where Stormtroopers suck at aiming. It's always true. It's always been true.
Yes.
And it's true in every franchise / any action movie because otherwise the main hero would be dead in 5 seconds and it's over.
Right.
But I feel like it's so apparent in this more than any other Star Wars movie I think ever, honestly.
Especially considering the only people that ever get shot and hit are the people wearing Beskar.
Right.
The Marshal and all these other characters that don't have armor to protect them from lasers,
which I appreciate,
never get shot.
Because I like that people do get shot, you know, and they can walk away from it because we've never really seen that. But it is still, yeah.
But the Stormtroopers are wearing armor and they're one-shotted all the time.
Right. But so what does the armor do, you know?
Right. And then the other thing I don't get is their armor and they get knocked out in like physical fights. Yeah. Like they get punched and they get hit with like the butt of a gun and they're like incapacitated and it's like, dude, what's the armor for then if you can't take a couple of hits?
Can't take a hit, can't take a bullet. Yeah, it's just it just looks cool, I guess. Is like the reason it's there.
Well, they'll never get rid of it at this point. It's too iconic.
It's super iconic, yeah.
So it's just to me it bothers me more in this one because like in the other Star Wars stuff, you know, you got the lightsabers, you got the guns, yeah, okay, the Stormtroopers are dead, but in this show there's a lot more hand-to-hand combat and it's like, why are Stormtroopers so affected by hand-to-hand combat? Like, what is the point of the armor then if they can't take a few punches to the face? Now, granted, luckily, I was going to get really mad, but they, like, in the last episode, the chicks are, like, hitting the crap out of them, but then as soon as they knock them down, they shoot them. And I'm like, okay, good. Thank you.
Finish them off.
Like,
don't
if you
just, like, hit someone once and they get knocked out.
And
that never
just,
happens.
And then you're just like, oh, I'm good. I'm just going to keep walking and leave this room now and assume this guy's dead when he shouldn't be. So that was kind of another thing that was bugging me, aside from their horrific aim, especially in that final scene with like Luke. It's like you could tell that he was really focused on like 1 or 2 stormtroopers over here, but there's like 3 more that are right over there that
shadow troopers, dude. Shadow troopers.
Yeah, well, either way, they should be shooting him.
Yeah.
And to me, there's no way he can block it if he's like over here blocking this stuff. Like I don't know. I just feel like the fact that he didn't get touched at all was a little crazy.
It was. Yeah, it was. It's always been a problem, but it was just way more apparent in this because there's a lot more people shooting other people and then not having the force at all, so they can't block them or anything like that.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, but I guess it's very telling to me that I don't have a lot of thoughts outside the last episode. Honestly, that pretty much sums up this show to me.
Yeah. Like I said, I always enjoy it when I'm watching it, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of meat there, in my opinion. And so, like I said, some of the cheesy dialogue, some of the easy, obvious story plots.
You don't like the idioms.
I don't like the Star Wars idioms. They had a few of those.
Son of a Wookiee.
Yeah, exactly. They did son of a Wookiee, and they're like, oh, that's like calling the Wookiee a Star Kessel, or something. Like they're just
not what they say.
I know, but dude, they just like instead of calling like that's like it's like the pot calling the kettle black or something. Like they had that phrase, but they replaced all of those words with like Star Wars words,
Right.
and I was like, that's really annoying.
There's no pots or kettles, bro. It's Nerf herders and
Yeah.
kettle
and
star.
Wookiee bowls or something. Like just I don't know. It was very ridiculous, and they did it like within 5 to 10 minutes of each other, and like I said, I think some of the dialogue's cheesy. I think Kara makes like some really cheesy like smirks.
Is that the big girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell she's not an actor like everyone else.
Right. She's
better.
She's good, but she's got some weird facial expressions where I'm like, ooh, like
Yeah.
someone like gets shot in the face and she's just like, yeah, like go team or something.
We
like,
got it.
Yeah, like girl power. Like she has a lot of those like cheesy girl power faces, but again,
Women getting it done.
Okay, let me ask you some of these questions then. Who is your favorite character in the show?
Oh, tough question, honestly.
Okay, well, let's talk about this real quick, too. We forgot Boba Fett was a big part of Season 2.
Yeah.
To me, I was surprised how much we got of him, but I did want more.
Yeah.
And I thought he was super cool. Like, that scene where his first action scene, where he, gets to go off, probably one of the best scenes in the season.
Right. Is that when he finds them?
I think when he gets his armor back for the first time and the first group of guys he kills in his armor is
sick.
super sick, and he caps it off with the rocket launcher off his back or something. Yeah, all of that was super sick. Loved him.
Honestly, love his voice.
His
voice is so badass. The way he sounds normally and the way he sounds with the sort of, I guess, the helmet on and the comm issue, the mechanicalness of it.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. He might be my favorite character. I liked what we got out of Ahsoka as well. I liked what we got out of the Mandalorian more this season, I would say. It's between those three. I'd probably go Boba Fett just because I feel like they did such a great job with a character that everyone loves but there's really nothing tangible that's great about him,
Yeah.
When we see him in the movies, he's literally just standing there, gets killed immediately by Luke.
Right.
Quote unquote killed. And I hope we do find out how he escaped. Or maybe we don't. I don't know.
Wait, because he got killed by Luke and thrown into the Sarlacc pit?
Yeah. And he obviously got out of it.
Because he's alive right now.
Right.
Because this takes place right after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Which is when he supposedly died, right? That's when that scene happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, apparently 25 years before Episode 7, according to IMDb and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool, I guess. I have enjoyed the fact that we're not really harking on the Jedi and the Skywalkers of sorts. Now, granted,
the very
last
end.
episode we got some Luke, but it was very quick.
And we'll never see him again.
And very well done, and yeah, probably never see him again. So
there's no way they can there's no way they can have an entire show
CGI face,
hours of CGI face Luke.
Yeah,
unless they get really creative with it.
I don't know, but again, I enjoyed all of that, and I forgot where I was. Okay, so yeah, your favorite character for right now is Boba Fett. Aside from Bill Burr, who's your least favorite character, and ideally kind of a main character or somebody that's got more screen time than Bill Burr had. Who's your least favorite?
My least favorite, aside from Bill Burr, I don't know, maybe the whatever her name is, the big girl who's Kara, who's going to join the Republic.
Yeah.
Or the Rangers, I think, is what they call the spinoff show.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge fan of her, but I don't really hate her either. It's just if I have to pick a least favorite character out of the main cast, I'll go with her. It's nothing really against her. It's just I think everyone else is better, but they're all actors. Also, I want to give a shout out to the chick with the headband, the white one.
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan.
I like Bo-Katan.
She's sick too. She has a nice character arc, and you can see there's going to be interesting stuff with her in the future.
Yep.
And she's just, I don't know, she's just cool.
So, for me, I want to say it's between Boba Fett and Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to, I guess, give it to Boba Fett just because he gets more time. Ahsoka really only has the one episode.
Right.
But she was pretty badass. And least favorite, yeah, it's kind of hard not to pick Kara. Actually, I'll be different though. I'll pick Carl Weathers, but he's just not.
He was my other.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of seeing him on screen.
It's just off-putting.
It is, but Yeah, Mando was good this year, but yeah, I liked Boba and Ahsoka. I guess most people would say Grogu. Most people would go Baby Yoda, but to me, he just doesn't do enough. But honestly, his scene, I think or maybe I just saw it on my phone, but the scene where he's like in that force bubble, and like Mando can't penetrate it,
or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty dope.
It was. Yeah, that was a good episode because that also had the Boba Fett fight scene and everything. Yeah, well, the second half of the season is like you have the Ahsoka episode, then you have the Boba Fett, then you have the last one.
Yeah, it was definitely great end of the season. I think after episode 5 or 6, I was like, like this is really picking up. And then unfortunately it ended. The other thing I will say about this show that I don't know why it bugs me. I guess it is for the best that they tell the story they want to tell and however long it takes, that's how long it takes. But I also just don't like the varying episode lengths. I wish they would just pick a length
and stick to it.
But at the same time, if that means they're doing hour-long episodes and 15 to 20 minutes of it is like crap and filler, where they could just make it 35 to 45 instead like they've been doing, then I guess I would prefer that. But still, it's just kind of...
It is annoying.
Like some of the episodes, I'm like, man, this episode's good. I really want more. And then like, oh, it's over. Because it was only like a 30-minute one. And I was like, okay, well, that sucks. So...
I remember you were telling me about it. It was 3 weeks in a row where they went like from 55 to 45 to 35. You're like, what's going on here? Why is this like this?
I don't. And then like in like two of the episodes were like in the 30-minute range, and like at least one or two of them were like pretty good episodes, but they they were just short.
Just kept cutting them.
Yeah. So I don't know. I liked the Beskar spear. Honestly, I kind of wish he would have gotten to use that more, but it was pretty sweet when he was using it.
It's a pretty massive disadvantage to be using that against a lightsaber, though, because like you're grabbing it in probably 2 different places.
Yeah.
And you would think somebody would meet with the lightsaber and then like rain it down and just singe your fingers off because they have to wrap around it.
Right. But are his fingers covered in Beskar?
No, I mean, it doesn't matter if they are. I'm just saying, like, I feel like if he was against anyone else besides an older Moff Gideon, I feel like he probably would have lost because that weapon, it just seems like that weapon would not be nearly as effective as a lightsaber.
Right. And now that you've brought him up, speculations on Moff Gideon. He's not dead, right? He didn't die at the end of the episode?
No. Tried to kill himself, which I thought was insanely dark for a Star Wars movie, but I guess, especially because they're owned by Disney, but, I mean, they are... that guy in the end of Civil War tried to kill himself in the exact same way, so I guess they're not opposed to people doing that. It's just kind of a dark thing for Disney to throw in there.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate, honestly. I think Star Wars could be a little darker.
Yeah, oh, definitely. So yeah, I appreciated it too. We talked about it off air too. I love the scene where Bo-Katan and Mando are like boarding the Empire ship to like get supplies and stuff that Bo-Katan wants, and she wants to take over the whole ship. The Empire guy's like, nope.
Put her in the ground.
Yeah, put it in the ground. Like, let's.
But see, that's like a PG way of killing yourself.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
But, I mean, he killed his crewmates.
He did.
He like shot him right in the back of the head and was like, for the Empire. He just starts plunging down, and you're like, whoa, like that's pretty intense. And I think it paints the picture of like how dark and evil the Empire is, and how basically they'll do whatever it takes to like rule the galaxy.
I mean, they're essentially like the Nazis. Like,
right.
They're just like the most committed and evil thing ever.
Right. And so I appreciated that. And then yeah, same thing with Moff though. I was wondering that whole time, like, you know, they're Mando spared his life and escorts him into the thing, and the only thing I can think of is they made it sound like he had good ransom reward if he was turned into the Republic.
Right.
That's what it made it seem like. That made it seem like that was the only reason why.
They definitely got to do something.
He kept him alive
because I don't know why else we keep him. Honestly, I feel like he should have probably died there because I don't think he's going to be the villain anymore. I think it's probably going to be Thrawn or somebody else.
Who's Thrawn?
They've referenced him, but he's like a guy from. So like before Disney bought Star Wars, there were no more Star Wars movies, right? So people would write books that were like, you know, kind of supposed to be what happens afterwards, and they would be like, this guy who was like the new leader, and everybody liked him, and he was called like Thrawn or whatever. Then Disney bought Star Wars, and they like canceled all those books basically. Those books don't count, so we can make Force Awakens, but they keep some of the stuff in there like this guy. because people like him so much. He's in Rebels.
Are the books written by like Lucas companies, or are they fan fiction?
They're written by like authors, like respectable authors who just like Star Wars.
Okay.
But I would imagine he's probably going to be the new bad guy.
I did like his twist, though. I mean, granted, it's a little, I guess,
Stupid.
Convenient rule is convenient, with the whole dark saber thing having to be won in combat, and you can't use it unless you win it in combat, and he, I guess, lets Mando win, or it's just convenient that Mando wins because now Bo-Katan can't have it.
Right, yeah. But they are like a super strict warrior race where they can't show their face and they like so proud or whatever.
Right, and if she ruled the throne with that sword without earning it, it's a sham, and she's a sham, and she bought into that, so I was like, okay, that's pretty twisted from Moff, and again, yeah, him trying to kill himself was pretty epic, and I liked Kara coming in and just whacking the gun and then whacking him in the face. I was like, finally, like, somebody really hit this guy, because she kept, like, throwing him to the ground.
She like push him like he was a pile of
like he was a
house
freshman.
of cards. Yeah, he was just like, oh, there you go.
He's like that stupid freshman you hate, and you just want to knock him over in the hallway. And she did that a couple times, and that was funny. But it was definitely funnier when she like smacked him in the face. And
That was good.
But yeah, his little twist there, because I kept wondering, what's his plan? I was like, he's got to have a better plan than this.
Than holding the kid hostage.
Right, and then attacking Mando, not really succeeding, and then attacking again in the the bridge or whatever, command center of the ship, and I don't know, and so finally when that stuff happened, I was like, okay, this is somewhat better, and it still sounds like he's alive. We don't know if Bo-Katan's, I guess, friend or assistant or whatever, fellow Mando is dead. She got shot up a lot by Moff. Me and you think she's dead. We figured she's the most disposable.
Right.
Victor thinks she's not, and I could get that because they didn't mourn her death. They didn't really confirm that she was dead. They never said she was dead. So, like, really it's 50-50. If they want her to be dead, she'll be dead. If they want to bring her back, they can bring her back.
Right.
To me, it's kind of like open to interpretation right now, and then they can do whatever they want.
Right. The way she was laying on the ground, just taking bullet after bullet.
Right.
I kind of feel like she's dead. What did you think about Luke? I mean, Luke coming in there at the end.
I guess it had to happen because Ahsoka already refused to take him.
And there's only
so many Jedi. There's only like a couple. Yeah. So
it's him or Obi-Wan or some other one they make up.
Right. And see, like, not. I mean, I feel like it was not. I don't want to give myself too much credit, but the second they were like running out of options, and you could see like Grogu get excited, and I was like, okay, well, it's got to be a Jedi, right? And then of course Kara sarcastically is like, oh, one X-wing, we're saved, and then they literally were saved
easily.
Yeah. So I thought it was great, getting to see, again, a Jedi doing Star Wars stuff. He used a lot of the Force. He used the saber. Pretty cool scene. But, again, the only thing that took away from that scene was the fact that I feel like any one of those Dark Troopers could have at least hit him in some regard, because it looked like they had plenty of, like, shots and angles. Because you could see, like, multiple lasers flying by him, and he's, like, swinging his lightsaber, and he hits, like, one of them. But there's still, like, 2 or 3 others, like, that are, like, coming from other guns, but they don't hit him, so I don't know. And you think these guys are, third-generation clone super troopers, they would have better aim than your average stormtrooper, but...
Right. They're these, like, super droids. Or whatever. When we saw that droid in the first episode of The Mandalorian, like, waste everyone in that town that, like, spun around and everything.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
That was sick, actually. It was, like, maybe one of the best scenes of that whole season. Yeah, I thought it was cool to see him. I think that they always do this thing where they, like, the CGI face is so good, but, like,
you can still tell it's a CGI face.
They always take it just a little too far. Like, it's just a little bit too much. Like, like in Rogue One, do we need to have her say the word hope, rebellion, fuel?
Well, and then the other guy,
just don't make her say anything. It looks way better when their mouths aren't moving.
Right. Well, the evil Empire guy, too.
Yeah. But they did some good stuff with him, because, like, they would show his reflection through a window, or through a window into space. But then I would show his face, like, super closed up, and they do it in, like, they do it in Civil War again, where, like, they make Tony Stark look really young, and they put his face, like, right at the front of the screen.
Yeah.
Whereas like this one, they put Luke so far away from like where we were, I guess the TV was,
right,
to where it still looked great, but they just kept going back to his face. I was like, man, if there was like 10 or 15% less of this, you would have nailed it.
Exactly.
And they did a great job by covering his face through the entire action scene. Smart,
yeah, they had to. But the other thing is, like, would Star Wars fans be that mad if they replaced some of these characters with real actors? Like, dude, how many more CGI faces are we gonna have to have?
All of them, dude. They'd be so pissed. These are like the most iconic characters ever. I'd say like this is like the one franchise that they will never remake. I think
That's because they're never gonna stop making it. It looks like.
Well, that, but I'm just saying like I think it's like the most bulletproof. Like they will never remake the originals.
Right.
Whereas I feel like everything else, like I feel like 30 years from now we could get like an Iron Man reboot or whatever, or I don't know. Trying to think of Fast and Furious or just something like huge that they would remake. But I feel like that would be so sketchy. But I would kind of wish they would, honestly, because then we could do more fun things with these characters other than CGI face and not showing them like all that often and you know.
Well, and with this show, we kind of thought we were getting away from the main Star Wars arc.
Right.
So the fact that they have brought in Luke.
How do you feel about that?
Again, it works for the story because, I mean, he has to get back to a Jedi, so and there's not very many of them. So, like, it works for the story, and luckily they did it in small doses, but I do kind of prefer Mando's own world, where, I mean, there are some things that tie in, like, obviously they just tied in Jabba the Hutt at that end credits scene.
Yeah, that was
or
hilarious.
the new fat guy, whoever he is.
Yeah, we saw the end credit scene, and you're like, "What? This guy's getting fat to take over?"
Yeah.
As if being fat is part of the like job requirement.
That's what it seems like. It seems like you have to have a young, thin female slave chained to your chair, and you have to be fat. Like that's the most consistent things with Jabba's Hutt.
Because I saw that squid looking dude, and I was like, "Man, something's off. What is it?" And like right as that happened, you're like, "Man, what's the deal with this huge guy? Why is he getting just tanking up over here?" And I was like, "That is what's happening." It's kind of funny that they're implying that.
It's what it seems like, but
I guess if you just sit in the chair all day and you're the king of everything, you're really not going to burn a lot of calories.
He needs to get his steps up. He needs to walk around the castle.
Well, he's done now. It's over.
Well, he's dead, yeah. But and we also got the reveal that they're going to come out with a Boba Fett show or something, the Book of Boba Fett,
Right.
which I find funny that it's a book. Like, am I going to read the TV? Like, what is this? Like,
Gonna slowly scroll.
yeah. Here's all this text on your screen.
They'll get what's his name, who does the Harry Potter narrations to narrate it to you. The good one.
Stephen Fry. Or Jim Dale. Jim Dale's the American one.
I think that's so funny that you like know about it on such a deep level.
I don't. I did one day of Googling.
I'm just saying, like, how many people could say? Anyway, that's cool. I'm kind of glad that they're giving him a show because they handled him so well. I'm just hoping they don't mess it up now.
Right.
But they really made the character like way cooler, in my opinion, than he's ever been.
Do you think the show will pick up at the end of like Return of the Jedi, like where he's supposed to be dead in the Sarlacc pit? Like where do you think that show starts? Does it start with him on the throne like we just saw?
Yeah,
or does it start with him at Return of the Jedi?
It'll totally start with him just doing something in the present day or whatever, and they'll be like, "Yo, like, how'd you get out of there? Well, let me show you."
Let's sit down, have a drink. It's a long story.
Yeah, and that'll be like halfway through the season they'll do that. But yeah, they'll show that eventually, I'm sure, and it'll probably be pretty cool. Like I said, I'm really happy with what they've done with the character. Do you think that Kylo Ren's gonna kill Baby Yoda?
What makes you think that?
Because he tore down that whole temple or whatever, and when Luke went crazy in Episode 8 or whatever.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Because like, technically, unless anything happens to him, Kylo Ren and Grogu are training at the same time.
Yeah, and we obviously have never heard or seen Grogu in 7, 8, or 9, so
Right.
it's like, where is he? But I'm sure they'll write it out. They'll find a way. Because I feel like now that Baby Yoda's making dumb money on toys, like, why would they ever kill him?
I don't know. Maybe they have the balls to.
Maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah, right. Like they have the
You're
balls.
right.
The ballsiest thing they did was kill Han Solo, and they
brought
really
him
only
back.
did that because and they really only did that because Harrison Ford didn't want to do the shit anymore.
He hates this shit. Dude.
Yeah.
He can't stand these movies, which I think is hilarious.
Why can't he stand him?
I think it's because he's he's such an average guy, that he really doesn't understand the sweaty nerdness of Star Wars, and he's just tired of people asking him
about Han Solo.
What do you like about Han Solo? Like, what is it? Like,
what's your inspiration for the character?
Who shot first? He's like, shut up!
So did you really make the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs?
It's like, just shut up! I don't care about your stupid, sweaty hobby.
Yeah, I don't know. But
anyway, back to the Mandalorian.
Well, no, yeah, I feel like that's just we were saying. That's like the ballsiest thing I feel like they've done in the Star Wars universe.
Is kill Han Solo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously, like way back in the day, the reveal of Darth Vader being Luke's father was wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
Back when that first happened. Obviously, now it's it's been so long, it's whatever.
It's a lot less ballsy when you're 2 movies into a franchise over like 7.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to do something ballsy. But dude, I'm an idiot. They recasted Han Solo in that movie, but I guess people didn't go see that. So.
What, in the Solo movie?
Yeah, so maybe that's why they won't do it.
Won't do what?
They recasted Han Solo in that movie, but...
Right. Well, yeah, they couldn't have Harrison Ford play a young Han Solo.
And they couldn't CGI it for a whole movie. But I'm saying, maybe that's why we'll never get that ever again, because that movie is...
Right. Well, and yeah, the fact that McGregor's coming back as Obi-Wan, to me, is wild.
That is crazy. It's kind of... I would say that The Mandalorian definitely has me excited for some of those other shows that they talked about coming out with.
Right.
Mainly the Ahsoka and the Obi-Wan one, because then maybe we'll see some
Jedi stuff.
Some Jedi stuff, and some check in on some of these other characters. Like maybe the Mandalorian pops up in that or something.
Maybe like Darth Maul's people. Other characters, other worlds. I'm hoping there's more world building and more new stuff. And if they do bring in old stuff, that it's some of the cooler stuff I would prefer, bounty hunters and Darth Maul type people and Count Dooku maybe, just cool stuff. Please, almost anything but a Skywalker, really, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think you're good. I don't think they're going to do any more. I think they've... But the thing that has me worried, though, is that, everyone loves Baby Yoda, right?
Right.
They have to bring him back now, though. He has to be a part of the show now. And how is he going to be a part of the show without Luke? It's going to be tough.
Right. And again, I'm assuming they're going to have to write it out or something.
They are taking a year off, though. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that.
But the show is not over.
No. They're going to come out with a 3rd season. They're going to put Boba Fett next year. And then the year after that, they'll put Mandalorian out.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we shall, and that'll be good. And then that's the thing too, is when Boba Fett's coming out, isn't Rangers or Ahsoka or
one
Obi-Wan?
of those, yeah.
One of those.
Obi-Wan, I think, is
the next one.
Yeah, because I think I've already started filming that.
So Obi-Wan and Boba Fett might come out around the same time, December of 2021.
Right.
Wild
stuff. But they're not gonna have a Star Wars movie for 3 years, so.
Yeah, well, they don't need it.
You still prefer the movies?
I want to say yes, but honestly, after finishing the 2nd season of Mando and the way it got better, I'm not mad if they keep doing TV shows.
Okay.
But again, there's got to be new stuff. I want new characters or references to old characters that didn't get enough screen time and some world building and pretty much anything that doesn't have to do with the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, you just want new stuff.
Right. And again, if they bring up old stuff, make it villains or characters that are interesting. You could even have Darth Vader in this stuff. I just don't want the Skywalkers.
Dude, they'll have Darth Vader. He's going to be played by Hayden Christensen and Obi-Wan, which I think is wild.
I think that's going to be great. No, but Obi-Wan's a mini-series, right? It's not a full...
It's 6, I think.
It's 6 episodes and that's it? Yeah, okay.
Why are they bringing him back? I think they're maybe just they feel bad for him.
Maybe,
honestly.
Or they just know that it's going to sell and maybe they have a story to tell type of thing.
I meant... Hayden Christensen.
Why bring him back? Yeah, especially if he's in a Darth Vader suit.
Maybe because they want to actually put some messed up scenes in there where he's we get to see his face and stuff like that.
Maybe
post burning and he looks like crap.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I'd be down for that.
Would be good. So we'll see what happens there. But I am excited. At first, when they said they were doing Obi-Wan, I was not excited. But now that we're talking about it more and we've just finished this one, I'm percolating.
Yeah, I mean they could have Maul in there too. Because Maul's back.
Right. And that's the thing, too, is in one of the shows or
and he
books...
doesn't have enough screen time.
Right. In one of the shows, books, or spinoffs or something, he, has a whole race of people.
Yeah.
So even if it's not Darth Maul himself, if it's, one of his brethren...
It's just a cool-looking character. It's such a badass-looking
character. And ideally, whoever his like if it was another race, or if it was his race of people, ideally they're just good at lightsabers too, like they're good at fighting or whatever, and so it's interesting. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
There's so much you can do. It's kind of frustrating. They've always focused on like one area.
Right, and that's why I would love for them to get away with it, or get away from it. But yeah, pretty much anybody but Luke and Rey, and like just get rid of all of them.
Hope and Rebellion.
Hope and Rebellion, and yeah, just. But yeah, hopefully the Obi-Wan series is good. I feel like it has the potential to be so good that it like leaves me wanting more, and it's only going to be like 6 episodes.
I'll piss you off.
Yeah, but we'll see.
We'll see.
It's better than them making a show and running it into the ground.
That's true.
So
what? I guess what do you want to give the show? You've got anything else to say or?
No. You have any other hot takes?
No. I would say that. God dang! I forgot to look up his name. It's so ridiculous. It's such a unique name. It's like Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
He's played by.
Got it right here.
Gotta help me out here.
He's played.
He's in The Boys as well, and he plays almost the exact same role. He's like the head villain guy, kind of.
Right, and he's super sadistic and like always has a plot or a plan. Like he's like 2 steps ahead of everybody, type of thing.
Yeah, totally. But the thing I would say about that is
Giancarlo Esposito.
I like him way more in The Boys, and I don't think he got enough screen time in this series.
Yes, considering like how badass his character is supposed to be, I definitely wanted more of him in this season. Considering we kind of thought he might have been dead at the end of the first one, and then the second one he's not, and he's like doing all this evil stuff, but like you don't really get to see him do a lot of it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think I'd give this show like mad decent.
Oh wait, and also I'd give it mad decent as well. Real quick on the Moff Gideon though, he wants Grogu's blood.
Right.
What is he doing with the blood?
He's gonna try to like make people have the Force.
Okay, right. So he's gonna make evil Jedi basically.
Yeah, because they need like a new like powerful like Emperor person basically to take over.
Okay.
So yeah.
But yeah, mad decent.
Mad decent, yeah. I think it really improved on the first season.
It did. It could have flirted with decent.
It has me super excited for season 3. And yeah, it definitely, until that last episode, I was definitely on decent all the way. Because I think some episodes were not necessary. And some had some great action, but I was still just, I wasn't nearly as into the show as The Boys, honestly.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as like, I needed to see the next episode. But I definitely feel, the last episode is just, it's really good.
And the one thing I will say too is, at first I wasn't crazy about it, but I guess because of my work schedule and whatnot, I did like the 1 episode a week.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that I got to watch it like weekly, like, I gotta see the new episode. And I didn't like feel obligated to run through the whole show in like 2 days. Because everybody else, like if it's all streamable, most people can finish it in like a couple days, whereas me, it takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
So I liked having the 1 week at a time thing.
Oh no, I totally agree. The episode came out yesterday, and today when I woke up, I was seeing stuff like, you won't like, the cameo at the end or the person they brought in for the last episode is wild. I'm like, all right, I need to watch this episode because people are already like talking.
Yeah,
I'm about to like literally spoil it for myself.
Yeah,
and that's what happens when a show is released all at once.
Yeah, they can spoil the whole season for you before you even get a chance to watch the first episode.
It's like, I can't do that. There's no way.
Right. So, no, it was good. I think I like where Disney's headed. The only thing that turns me off is the fact that they are making so much Star Wars and Marvel stuff. And I don't think any of it will be bad, but no matter what, everyone's just going to watch all of it. It's going to be all the hot stuff. And, like, Disney has all this money and all this power. And, like, that kind of turns me off, but luckily I like Star Wars and superheroes more than I hate Disney, so.
Yeah, I mean, what do you hate Disney for? Just how much power?
Just the monopoly stuff, yeah. Just the fact that they have their hand in like everything, and honestly, it's getting to the point now. Of course, this is an exaggeration, but I feel like in terms of major movies and major content, they're responsible for over 50% of it. Now, granted, I know that number is probably not accurate because there are a ridiculous amount of shows out there.
But if you're using the word major, I think you're right.
Right.
If you're talking about the stuff that's
everyone's watching,
everyone's talking about, everyone's watching. You're going to see it trending. You're going to see people referencing it.
They're going to make all the top lists in terms of most streamed and this and that.
I'm a little worried that they may have like jumped the shark and sort of just lost their, like they're just overwhelming us a little bit.
A little bit.
From their, like, there's just so much stuff they're putting out. But you know, it is all. They're announcing like their slate for the next like few years. Like that's kind of a long time. It could be spread out an appropriate amount. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed our lovely episode of Mando Season 2. Make sure you be on the lookout for future Star Wars stuff and future episodes here on The Decent Show. Don't forget to check out our mini-series about Seinfeld, a podcast about nothing, and we will be updating on... We're working on Season 3 right now. It's in the books. It's in the works.
Good stuff.
Coming out December 2023, along with...
the most highly anticipated.
Yeah. But no. For Reagan, I'm Ryan. You guys have a great night.